This is Viva Fry.
I'm Dr. Peter McCullough.
This is Tom Luongo.
This is Chuck Prodnick.
This is Alex Kreiner.
Hey, this is Brad Wall.
This is JP Sears.
Hi, this is Frank Peretti.
This is Tammy Peterson.
This is Danielle Smith.
This is James Lindsay.
Hey, this is Brett Kissel, and you're listening to the Sean Newman Podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, folks. How's everybody doing today? Happy Tuesday. Here's some exciting news for you if you missed it. Coming to the Cornerstone Forum 2026, Neil Oliver. Yes, the latest addition to an already great lineup, from my opinion. He's going to be joining the likes of Tom Luongo, Alex Kreiner, Vince Lanchi, Premier Danielle Smith, Martin Armstrong. The list goes on, and Neil Oliver coming to Alberta March 28th for the Cornerstone Forum. So if you haven't bought your tickets, get on that. And it's all down in the show notes. Of course, the first company I'm talking about here, Silver Gold Bull, they're one of the title sponsors, along with Bow Valley Credit Union, helping bring in the Cornerstone Forum to Calgary, Alberta. And, the latest addition, Neil Oliver. So that is super cool on this end, and I think he's going to be a fantastic speaker. Looking forward to having him. Now, did you know that you can hold physical gold and silver in your registered accounts? Silver Gold Bull can help unlock potential of your RRSP, TFSA, RRIF, or Kids RESP by adding physical gold and silver to your account. Certainly, everyone should pay attention. The deadline for this year is March 2nd, so that is the RRSP deadline. And, Silver Gold Bull can help you. They got all their in-house solutions, whether buying, selling, or storing precious metals. They also have feature silver deals exclusively offered for the SMP listeners. I was just trying to pull up the charts here on where gold is at, and it's sitting at 6,400 Canadian, silver $118 per ounce. So if you're paying attention, holy Mackinac. To get anything Silver Gold Bull, silver gold, go to silvergoldbull.com.ca, ship direct to your doorstep, and make sure you know, let them know that you heard about them from the Sean Newman Podcast. Profit River. Well, when it comes to guns here in Canada, the federal government has their own ideas on what we can do. If you really want to find out what you can do, you should probably reach out to Profit River. They service all of Canada. You can reach out to Joel. He's the primary contact for all you lovely listeners. SMP@profitriver.com. You can call him. You can stop in store. You can also just visit them online. On any purchase, make sure you use the code SNP. That gets you in for monthly draws. And, profitriver.com. Look no further in there. They are the major retailer of firearms, optics, and accessories, serving all of Canada. RecTech Power Products. For over 20 years, RecTech Power Products has been committed to power sports. These guys stopped in and saw Ryan last week. And, if you haven't stopped into the RecTech showroom, open Monday through Saturday, they have just a little bit of everything. And this year, they got a bunch of different things going on. They got their demo days, both on the lake and then just at the store, so you can try out some of the different machines they got. They got everything from side-by-sides and snowmobiles to, all the things on the water, including Lund fishing boats. They got the Alberta-built aluminum trailers from Lethbridge. And if you're, if you're looking for anything to do with upgrades or maintenance, their parts department can hook you up with all of that. You can just visit them at rectechpowerproducts.com. Planetcom, speaking of another one, when you're looking for security online, well, when you're busy growing business, you're stressed about everything online. Well, trying to stay on top of that is difficult, to say the least. They'll take care of all of that for you, leaving you to do your thing while they do theirs. And if you want to see their handiwork, go to theSeanNewmanPodcast.com. That's the website they build for me. They've been going for 23 years. They've been on their Planetcom to boost your productivity by proactively managing every aspect of your IT infrastructure, both in-house and in the cloud. You can find everything they do at planetcom.ca. The Mash Spiel, later this week, okay? It is now sold out. We can't get any more tickets for it. But here's the cool news. Today's interview is sit with Mitch Sylvestre, and one of the things we're going to do at the Mash Spiel is we're going to have you can sign the independence petition there. So if you're in the area of Kalmar, you're in Leduc, you're in Edmonton, and you want to drive out and see the likes of Twos and, Marty up north, Chuck Prodnick, Jamie Sinclair, Lise Merle, Sheila Gunn Reed, Eva Chipiuk, you want to come out and have a little bit of, grab a rink burger and maybe suck back on a sarsaparilla or something, you can also sign the independence petition there. They're going to have signers or what do they call them? Canvassers. I think it's canvassers. They're going to have them there. So now you can sign the petition this weekend, January 17th. We're there from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. I would say come middle of the day. Don't show up first morning light. I would say probably after lunchtime, show up and you can sign the petition if that works for you. We're going to be there all day. You can stop in and say hello. Once again, the Cornerstone Forum returns March 28th. The link is down in the show notes. And Neil Oliver, the latest addition to that. That is, man, I'm excited. That's going to be at the Weston Calgary Airport this year. And so looking forward to seeing all you fine folks. If you're listening or watching on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, Substack, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a review. Make sure to share with a friend. If you want to support what I do, Substack is the place where you can find a little behind the scenes. We just released a couple updated images on the new studio. We got some work going on there here the month of January. That's why Monday's episode was in the current studio, the old studio, whatever you want to call it. And as we finalize some things there, we're hoping, by end of January, there's no more work to be done. It is like full steam ahead. Let's go. And if you want to see some behind-the-scene footage, become a paid member on Substack. All right, let's get on to that tale of the tape. Today's guest is the owner of Sylvestre Sporting Goods in Bonnyville, also the CEO of Alberta Prosperity Project. I'm talking about Mitch Sylvestre, so buckle up. Here we go. Welcome to the Sean Newman Podcast, back again. Mitch Sylvestre, thanks for hopping on. You were just on the mashup. I thought it was probably prudent of me to have you right back on in a solo episode so that, people didn't tune into the mashup. And I know Tooz is laughing somewhere because he's like, everybody listens to it. But in case they didn't, there's been lots of questions around the petition. And I just thought, well, let's go to the source and answer some of those questions. So how's Mitch doing today?
Well, good. I'm very excited. Had a great weekend. Actually, to tell you the truth, I did an event in Fort Mac on Saturday night, and we signed 1,000 people. So, that follows up on 2 times ago. I went to Fort McMurray, drove 5 hours one way, and had 11 people. So, just saying, we signed 1,000 people, and they want us back soon because there's cross shift there, and we're going to go to work. We had people lined up around the block in Calgary at the Queensland event to sign. Everybody's anxious. Everybody's excited. Absolutely perfect. We're waiting. We've got 1,127 official canvassers now. We've got another 900 in the queue right now being processed. And that doesn't include the ones that we're picking up at events. So we've got events all week this week that'll have canvassers at them. So if there's no canvassers in your area, and actually Lloyd, and that is in my backyard, actually, to tell the truth, we're going to be hooking up canvassers and places for you to sign as soon as we can possibly get that done. So that being said, I said 2 weeks from the beginning of this. That would be this weekend. The end of that would be this coming weekend. And then I think after that, we should be flat out and ready to go.
Yeah, I know one of the, I say concerns, it's just funny because I was saying to you before we started, it's like there's this sense of urgency. People want to sign tomorrow and they're waiting on canvassers, and that's Elections Alberta. That has nothing to do with Stay Free Alberta. That has everything to do with the government, right? It's like You're just waiting on the process. But I think it's important because here, I was just talking to a few of the people who signed up in Lloydminster, and they're like, yeah, there isn't a canvasser yet here in Lloyd. So we're like fielding questions of like, just be patient, it's coming. But there's this sense of urgency. Like, I want to go sign tomorrow. I'm seeing all these videos of Calgary and elsewhere. It's like, where's our event in this area? And I'm like, I'm sure it's coming. But we're just waiting on people to get canvassers. And once I have the canvassers of Lloyd, I'll probably do a roundtable with them so that they can talk about their event and showcase some of the things happening in this area. But I assume I'm not explaining anything new to Mitch of the urgency and this energy around people wanting to get out and sign this thing.
Well, there's 2 parts to this. Good. There's no canvassers in Lloyd. I'm not happy to hear that, but here's the opportunity for all of you to sign up to be canvassers. I have a goal of getting 10,000 canvassers in Alberta. We're going to be around 2,000 here right away. So we need 5 times more canvassers. I really believe, not only do I believe, I know this is going to be the key. The key to winning this whole thing from now till the end of the referendum vote is for you to talk to people that you know and get them involved. So if anybody on this call or on this podcast everybody knows 4, 5, 6 people that they can talk to get to sign this. If you're on our side of this, so the whole thing is become a canvasser,
and I should
5
be
names.
Yeah, I should be clear. We have canvassers in Lloyd that are set up to go. They're waiting on paperwork to come through that say they can start. I should be very clear on that. There's lots of lovely people who've signed up, and I'm sure Lloyd has it, and this area has it, all well and done. It's everybody's waiting on their go ahead, right? They're not one of the 1,100 that's already official and can go out and start signing people.
Yeah, that softens my message, though, Sean. Actually, to tell you the honest to God truth, I think I'm happy that you corrected me on that. But I think that if we create a little bit more urgency around everybody becoming canvassers, I think it's very, very important. So just understand that if we want to actually win this fight, see, we're basically, none of the stuff that happened this weekend got put on mainstream. I mean, we saw it. Like Queensland had 300,000 views. The Calgary event, where people were literally lined up around the block, and guys were walking around with their phones and showing people how anxious they were to sign. And people were in line for 2 or 3 hours to sign, and we're very happy to do it. But the thing is that we're not going to depend on them to do anything for us. This is a total, actually, definition of a grassroots movement, where it's going to be you talking to your neighbors and brothers and sisters. That's how this is going to work.
Well, it's funny, you talk about different events where people can go. We have this fun event coming up on Saturday, January 17th, called the Mash Spiel. It's a curling bond spiel for the Mashup group. And I'm like, we should probably get some canvassers there and just start talking about it on the podcast. Because I mean, I mean, Marty up north is going to be there, Twos, myself, Chuck Prodnick, Jamie Sinclair and the Military Boys, Lise Merle's driving in from Regina, Sheila Gunn Reed's going to be there. I go, Mitch, how hard would it be to get a few canvassers there so they could witness people's signatures if they want to do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I know that you can get one for sure because I'm a canvasser. So I will guarantee you will have one there, but I will work really hard to get a whole bunch of people to that event for you. I can't see that being a problem. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee it. There will be people.
Well, there you go. So people of the podcast world, if you're in Kalmar area, so that's just west of Leduc, west of Leduc, sorry. There, on Saturday from 9 a.m. to roughly 9 p.m., we have the tournament going. We'll make sure that we put out a note letting people know if they want to stop in and sign, they can. Because, I mean, we're sitting there. The venue's rented. Why not put up a booth? So if people want to sign, they can. They can just stroll on in and probably sit and have a conversation with a few different people while they aren't curling and, and sign something. So there, that's done. Check. I've done something for my day on this end, Mitch. Now, I got a series of questions for you that have been coming in as we go along. Let's start with the simple ones. What do people need to bring in order to sign?
Absolute ID where they live.
Okay, so driver's license?
Numbers don't work. Driver's license is perfect. Utility bills are perfect. Anything, passport, if it shows your actual physical address. Your physical address has to be clear and perfect.
So if you bring a driver's license with your physical address on it, do you need to bring a utility bill as well, or just your driver's license?
Driver's license with your actual address on it is fine.
Is fine.
If you live in the country, you need to have range road land, exact land description.
On a utility bill?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the distinction. So people listening here, flip open your wallet, take a look at your license. If you got your actual city address on there, you're fine to just bring your driver's license and you can sign. If you live out in the country, which is going to be a big case for a lot of people listening to this show and elsewhere, it's going to be like, okay, make sure you have a utility bill or something with your physical address so it can be confirmed.
Right. And we need something. We're not going to take your word for it. So you're going to have something there. Even if you know it, that's not going to work. We have to have actual physical proof of it.
Okay, so bring physical proof. One of the things I was watching the Calgary event or the videos come out of it over the weekend. I was like, oh man, that's a lineup, and I had tons of people texting me about it. But one of the things I was sitting here going is, where do we find all the events? Is there do you go to X and follow a certain Twitter account or X account, sorry, or do you go to Stay Free, the website, and that's the best spot?
StayFreeAlberta.com is where they're going to be.
Full
They're going
stop.
to be updated daily, full stop. But I mean, they're going to be on Facebook and everywhere else too. But I mean, Stay Free Alberta is going to be where to go look for it.
Which brings on the next question.
Right.
People have been a little bit confused. Alberta Prosperity Project rolling around, educating everybody. Now you have Stay Free Alberta. And as soon as people see different groups, they're like, what the heck's going on? Maybe you can walk everybody through this.
So, okay. So the actual petition is a citizens initiative petition. So it cannot be done by a group. So the citizen is me. And so that's my citizens initiative petition. So as the proponent to that petition, I have to be completely separate from all other groups, even though I was technically the CEO of APP. So the CPP part of this was to get us to this point. And no, I'm sorry, the APP part of this was the Alberta Prosperity Project part of this was to get us to this point, to educate people, to make this happen, and to get the petition, the pledge to sign from before. Now, on our pledge to sign, the question was, will you agree to sign the petition for free and independent Alberta? So that's going to segue very nicely into what we're doing here. So the question was not, will you become a member of the Alberta Prosperity Project? So, and then the Alberta Prosperity Project, should we get enough signatures to force a referendum for independence, will kick back in as soon as the election starts, and this part of the process will be over. So Elections Alberta has very strict rules that we have to keep these two entities separate. So basically, we're going to take and ask for anybody that's involved or has been involved with us to volunteer with Stay Free Alberta, and that's going to be as much common ground as we can have, as if we have people from the Alberta Prosperity Project, and there are many that hopefully will want to come over and volunteer and help us get this over the line. Because without this, nothing else happens. So just understand that, and there's massive fines, $500,000 to $1 million personal fines that could be levied towards me for breaking those rules. So we have to be very clear that there is a distinct line between Alberta Prosperity Project, the Education Society, and the Citizens Petition Act, something that we can actually go out there and collect signatures. They cannot be partisan in any way, shape, or form or endorse this. So just understand that that's why we're putting myself and all our events are going to be Stay Free Alberta events.
So if people are at all wondering, scratching their head, the place to go, stayfreealberta.com. That's going to be everything you need there. You want to sign up, you want to help, you want to go find a location, Stay Free Alberta. Just keep checking it daily, because one of the things for my area that I know or assume is, like, once the canvassers all get confirmed by Elections Alberta, I hope I'm saying that right, then there can be things where it's like, hey, we're going to be here on this day, and that'll be on the stayfreealberta.com, because that'll be another location announced of, like, hey, you can go sign here on these dates.
Like, just for example, we're going to have canvassers at my store in Bonnyville here every Saturday, every Sunday from now till the end. Okay, and there's going to be another location in Bonnyville that's going to have canvassers there all day, every day, and we expect to do the same thing in every community in Alberta. So we're going to have places where you can go sign every day, all day long, and then everything is going to get turned into us. So we're going to also commit to having events in every community in Alberta as much as we can. I actually discussed that this morning before I got on this meeting, where we're going to have a list of communities, and we're going to actually go there, physically go there, and have an event there, a sign-up event.
Let's talk about the deadline. I had a lady, or I think it was a lady, forgive me, might have been a man, a listener. Well, we'll go there because I actually don't know. Text me. And on the mashup, we'd been talking about May 2nd as the deadline. And they were pointing out May 2nd is a Saturday, and you actually can't submit things to Elections Alberta on a Saturday. So saying May 2nd is not the proper day, although that is the 120-day window. To be smart, you should talk about it midweek. That way you give yourself plenty of time for things to come in and get dropped off and all the different things. I already assume you know this, but at the same time, I think bringing that up is not a bad thing.
No, we have one chance to submit. So we're going to submit late April. So I would suggest that, we could put a hard cutoff date on about the 25th of April, 26th of April as when the signatures have to be signed.
Now I'm curious. How many days is April 25th away?
A week. It'll probably a week away from now. I would say
Yes.
probably, I guess, 100 days.
Now I'm curious. I'm sorry, folks. I'm looking it up for all of us because I'm a countdown guy, right? I have my annual event coming up on March 28th, and I always want to know how many days I have. How many days until? Let's find out. 104 days, I think, is what it just spit out at me.
Okay, there you go.
Well, now it's spit out 111. There are 111 days until April 25th. So
Right.
for those people, they're screaming, I want to go sign this thing. You got 111 days to get events done, sign things, and every day that goes by, it just ticks down. And 111 days, Mitch, seems like a long time until it disappears, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
hitting the ground floor running is going to be of absolute importance on this thing. But 111 days is what you got to submit, essentially.
Okay, and also, thanks for bringing that up, Sean. But I'm going to we're building the infrastructure so that we can take unlimited amount of signatures. We would rather take till Monday of next week to make sure that we have everything done right and everything, so that once we roll this out, we're running on all cylinders. So we're actually doing that. Lots of it is ready to go now. We're testing it. Matter of fact, most of it's ready to go now. We're testing it, and we're also going to be in contact with all of you that have asked to volunteer, and there were 20,000 of those in our sign up process for collecting signatures, and we're going to reach out to every one of the people that signed our intent to sign, which are 240,000 of you. We will be out there talking to you. You will people assigned to make sure that you sign. And the other thing that we're going to ask you to do is to get a reference for a person or another person that that we can send our canvassers to go to after they sign you.
When you say you're testing it, what are you testing?
Well, we're testing software. We're making sure that all of our leaders are organized. We've broken the province down into 87 areas. So 87 areas is going to require at least 87 leaders, which we'll have more. So we've kind of got a multi-level marketing thing happening here, because we're going to have to start collecting signatures in every area that we're going to have supporters. Because understand this, every vote counts here. We're not voting for an MLA. So once you get over a threshold, your vote doesn't count anymore, if you understand what I mean. So you're going to be, every vote in rural, I think we can win this with rural Alberta votes, actually, to tell you the truth. So we're going to work very hard to collect signatures from what I would consider to be our people, our tribe, and also work very hard. And we saw in Calgary the other night that there's also a ton of support in Calgary. So, we're just ramping up events in Edmonton. We're going to have a couple here in the next little while. I'm just going to make sure to not say anything that I'm not sure about unless I'm looking at the calendar. But we're going to be going to every part of the province, every small town, every big town. We went to a community hall in Water Valley on Tuesday night and had, there was 80 people in the community, and we had 400 people at the hall. So just saying. So you know what, and signed a bunch of people, and only had two canvassers or one canvasser there. She was like signing till 6 or 7 hours to get as many people in as she could. But that was our first night.
You mentioned on the mashup on Friday a Calgary event coming up. What event is that? Do you have details on that?
It's going to be at the BMO January 26th at 7 o'clock. And as a matter of fact, if you want to sign up, I believe we're going to be signing people up there all day. So you'll be able to go there all day to sign. And if you want to be at the event will start at 7.
I'd had a couple questions off Friday's mashup on, is there a poster or any advertising details on that people could share? And I working on it. So once again, look for stayfreealberta.com is probably where to stay up to date on all that stuff as well.
100%. And there will be a shareable poster.
Okay. That brings me to two of the questions that people I know have been getting asked about. The big one is both of them are big. First Nations, do they have a veto on this? Like if you get the 177,000, you have a referendum, can they shut down the petition before it even starts? Can they shut down the referendum before it happens? Is there anything like that you know of, Mitch?
No, they have no veto on this. They're just, as far as we're concerned, it's not against the Constitution to ask a question of any kind. And an honest to God fact, in Alberta, they do not have a veto.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Like
Right.
that's, when you look at X or you look at some of the conversations floating around because probably of X, there's
So,
this thing that's starting to be talked about that First Nations can cancel this before it even gets running.
so let's have a little discussion about that for a minute. People are assuming that all First Nations are against us. That's totally not true. We're getting a lot of First Nations people are looking at this as an opportunity to start better. The government of Canada has not been kind to them. They're very aware of that. The Indian Act has not been kind to them. As a matter of fact, we've had multiple letters and Aboriginal people that wanted to join us, and we're going to start highlighting those people and putting them up front and center so that people understand that the Aboriginal people of Alberta can get as much out of this as anyone else, and probably more. In our value of freedom document, it's very clear that we're trying to create a much clearer, better path for them to, pull them out of poverty. And the whole problem with the system as it's designed now is it doesn't work for them, and they understand that. Chief and council, we've also seen for a long time that chief and council don't necessarily represent the people on the band, and there's a lot of corruption at that level. So I think that this is going to be because we're dealing with corruption from the bottom of the top here, and that's the big problem. So the problem is that it doesn't just exist in our federal government. Our federal government actually will not allow anybody to audit the money that goes to bands. So as a consequence to that, we believe that there's question marks there. And we also know from the communications that we receive from regular people that they would be ready to vote for a change compared to what's been going on for them. I think Aboriginal people are actually tired of the situation they're in for the most part and want to be able to have a healthier and more secure future.
Well, it's interesting to see the attacks coming. I'm sure you can talk to a lot of the attacks happening and trying to muddy the messaging of what's going on.
Well, we went through that right in court. Like the only challenge we had was from Aboriginal peoples in court with Justice Feasby. And Justice Feasby, of course, I'm not saying of course, but this is the way he looked at it. Like they have total control over the autonomy of the province of Alberta, which is total nonsense. I mean, that's directly coming from the federal government. That's one of their things. Like, understand this, we're talking a lot of money here. We're talking about a one-way transfer of $47 billion a year or thereabouts. So that's what they stand to lose. They're not just going to sit idly by and allow this to happen. They're not going to just let us walk away with Alberta, I promise you. So we have to understand that what we have to do is we have to understand that there's going to be challenges. And I think the Aboriginal challenge is the one that they're hanging their hat on based on treaty rights and everything like that. But there's a lot of misinformation about treaty rights. And actually, to tell you the honest to God truth, you know what? There should be a conversation had there, which we're prepared to have. But for this step, there's no stopping this step. This is the step that we need to get our signatures. This is what we need to do. Once we get our signatures, and here's the other thing. This has to be too big to rig. So I want people to understand this. If you think that we're going to get our signatures and you don't think you want to sign because, it's going to happen anyways, I think that's a big mistake. I think what people have to understand is that every signature on this part of it's going to count, and every vote on the other end is going to count. So we have to be able to understand that we are all going to have to participate in this to make this happen, because this is a really big deal. This is this is historical. This is going to be a pivotal moment, probably in the democracy of Canada, the way I see it. And unless we show up, it's not going to happen.
You'd brought up earlier, and I think it's probably important to highlight it again. In an election, let's say in Lloyd, we don't take you just this area.
Yeah.
And under previous rules, I believe it had to be out of all 87 districts a certain percentage.
Yeah,
correct 10%. Me if I'm wrong on that. No,
Mitch, that's correct. 10%.
But now it's like if Bonnyville signs up 10,000, they all count.
That's right. They all count towards the end vote. And you know what? Hopefully, we want to sign up every conservative that we can possibly sign up, or anybody that believes in this. You don't actually have to be a conservative. We're actually all pulling in the same direction here to make something better for the entire province.
Yeah. So, like, if you're a salesman and hungry for it, go sign up as many people as you want, because they all count. It doesn't. Yeah. It's not like you hit your 10 and you're like, or your 100 or your 1,000. You're like, well, we're done. It's like, no, you can actually sign up. 25,000, whatever the number is. I don't know what people can push for. But I also think that'd be a fun little challenge of
Yeah.
see how many people you could, post how many people you're signing up because, I don't know about you, but having a little bit of a hockey background, both of us, Mitch, I'd say we're both a little bit competitive, and
I would suggest that's the
and
case.
having a high number come in, I can see people grabbing onto that and running with it.
Yeah, me too. And more power to you if you can.
One other one was
Okay.
this is being done to join the United States. I've seen a lot of different things on that. Your thoughts on, the petition is so that we can join the United States.
Not going to happen according to them. And it's not absolutely the last thing we want. We don't want to go from one system to the other system. We're not believing that going from the Liberals to the Democrats is going to help anybody in Alberta. So that's not what we're doing. Even though the wording on the question is from the Clarity Act, please understand that. It does not mean that we're going to be a state. It's word for word from the Clarity Act, because that's where we had the problem in the original court case, was the wording of the question. So let's just understand, it has nothing to do with becoming a 51st state. That is totally a no-go, and I'm going to emphasize it. And as much control as we have over it, it is absolutely not the case.
Any final things before I let you out of here? I think, in my brain, what I wanted to do with you today is I wanted to keep it as concise as possible of this is what you can expect. Even since we talked to you on Friday, we've had the Calgary petition signing and all the videos coming out of that. You've been at different events yourself. So it's, like a day by day, things are speeding up, I think. At least that's what it looks like to me. But is there anything else you want to tell the audience here in Alberta?
Well, you know what? We need to do our share, all of us. And if your share is getting 4 or 5 signatures, that would be awesome. You know what? Stand up and be counted. That's all I can say, because you know what? You have a big decision to make, something we'll probably never, ever have an opportunity to do again. So do your due diligence, make darn sure that you're aware of what's at stake here and what's not at stake. And please come out and help us out.
For people writing things down, BMO Center, January 26th. That's going to be a big event for Stay Free Alberta. And then if you're a mashup fan, we're in Kalmar this Saturday with a whole host of characters, including Marty Up North and Twos and Lise Merle, Sheila Gunn Reid, and I'll say it again, Chuck Prodnick, Jamie Sinclair, and the Military Boys are all going to be there. Should be a fun group. And I have confirmation from Mitch himself that we're going to have somebody there taking signatures. So if you want to stop by at the Kalmar curling rink, please do come in and say hello, and we'll get some people signed up. Mitch, appreciate you hopping on and doing this. For all the information, visit stayfreealberta.com. And I'm assuming we'll talk to you soon enough to keep everybody here in Alberta up to date on what is happening and elsewhere across Canada if they're paying attention and trying to decipher what's going on out here.
Okay, we're also in Red Deer Wednesday night and Eckville. So if you want to look for those events, that'll be our closing statements here. Take care.
Okay, Red Deer. Whereabouts in Red Deer are you heading?
You know what? You'll have to look it up on our site. I'm not speaking that particular event. I'm in Eckville. So Jeff and I will be, or I believe it was going to be Jeff and I in Eckville, but I believe Jeff's now going to Red Deer.
Okay, so you got Red Deer coming up and Eckville both Wednesday night? Sorry, forgive me on. Yes, Wednesday night, those two. And then Saturday, the mash bills happens, folks. So if you're curling, you're coming for some fun. And if you just want to come sign, we'll make that happen too. Mitch, thanks for hopping on and doing this. And we'll talk to you here, I'm sure, in the days, weeks ahead.